One of the things that was alluded to at the top of the hour was the difficulty of the budget situation on the state's public education community, not exclusive to K-12, but additionally to community colleges and the university system. So let's, if you will, turn our attention to education in North Carolina. Tell us what we should look for. Understanding that the budget has not been passed, and we're requiring a little bit of a look into the crystal ball. But what would you expect, and what would you invite folks to look for as things unfold?
Well, I think on the House and the Senate side both, and the governor with her budget, we've had a pretty common theme that we are trying to do everything we can to keep teachers in the classroom and not have to start laying teachers off. We're trying to keep our universities at the level they were at, no real growth or anything there, but to try to keep enrollment coming in and to try not to have to lay off professors. And with the community colleges, they experienced 16.2% growth last year. So we're having to pump new money into those so that people like the ones who have been calling us who need help and need job training can get through an open door and get that. And we've always had that open door policy with our community colleges. All comers are helped. So, you know, most of us come down here not just to keep the status quo, but we are at a point with our budgets and with this recession that the status quo is a good thing. And just so everyone will understand, if you begin to lay off teachers, you're going to have a ripple effect all the way back through your education chain. You're going to have people not choosing that as a profession. And in my opinion, you'll have a 10-year problem of teacher shortages and quality teachers as a result of it. If you start laying off university professors, it'll be very difficult to get a good one to come to this state. They require job security. That's something they're granted usually when they go to a university. So we're trying to keep the institutions intact so that they can continue to serve people through this recession, but be the leaders of this state that they've always been when we come out of it. And we spend 60% of our budget roughly on education. And it is where our focus is. It is our future. It's what we're betting on to lead this state.
Okay. And one thing I might say that in the Senate budget, what we tried to do is to make sure that we provided the resources that were necessary to keep those teachers in the classroom. And we even said that when it comes to administrative staff, those that are in the front office within the boards of education offices, that those staffs be cut and trimmed by 10% to save the teachers in the classroom. We also indicated that before they could start laying off teachers, before they could begin furloughing teachers, and that we gave them the opportunity to furlough for up to 2 days, but only 2 days, but only after there might be a hearing, a public hearing at the local level where people within the community could come and speak out. And then we came to lottery proceeds that might be used for brick and mortar type projects, hard construction projects, that this coming year there'd be flexibility at the local level, that if those boards of education decided to use it, they could use it to keep teachers employed, to keep those kids occupied in the classroom with high levels of instruction, because that is absolutely essential. We don't want to compromise what's going on in our classrooms. We have a good public education system. We want to make sure it has the resources that it needs, and we want to work on improving it and making it better in the future.
Okay.
And I think going along with what has already been mentioned here, the vocational education and also the community college system has been a sort of a saving grace for this state, because many of the folks who have lost jobs in my area have gone back to the community college system, been educated, well trained, and have, decent jobs now, or at least hope for a decent job, and that continues. And I think there's some funds we're going to be looking at in the very near future for equipment, etc. So the community college system and education is the future of this state. And fortunately, that's what this state has always looked toward, is education, and that's the reason there's such a dramatic or a tremendous amount of investment. I think Senator Nesbitt mentioned 60% or greater of the entire state budget goes to education. So, and it's a fluid, you know, it's always changing, and because when we see dropout rates and other things, we realize that we can always make improvements on that, and we have, and we continue to. But it's just not an easy fix. But I feel comfortable with the thoughts of the legislators and the direction we're going to want to go in. We're going to place our bets on education for this state.